Hello, my love. Welcome back. My name is Jess. I'm your host. I'm a digital organization strategist. And today I wanted to talk about something that has been on my mind. And that is the feeling of being behind and how to thrive in the present. I have been feeling this crushing weight of the expectation of where I should be at this point in my life. I'm 25 years old, which I know is so young, but I think that whatever age we are at, we have this set of expectations on what it is we should have done, who it is we are supposed to be, what we should have achieved by that age, whether it's 15, 25, 30, 35, 50, whatever. I believe that we all can resonate and relate to that feeling of impending doom at not being where we are supposed to be and who we are supposed to be by a certain age. And maybe it's not even by age. Maybe it's by how long you've been in business, how long you've been at your job, how long you have been trying for a certain thing. There is so much emphasis in our culture on the destination, and there's not a whole lot of emphasis on enjoying the process and the fact that everyone's process and journey and timelines are different. I was just having a conversation with a friend the other day, and we were talking about how proud we were of another friend, of all that she'd achieved and how quickly it seemed she'd achieved it. And we both had this moment of being like, wow, we're so happy for her, but like, why isn't that happening to us? Why aren't we also achieving what she's achieving? And in the same breath of being genuinely so happy for her, we were comparing ourselves and we were looking at our own lives and going, well, our businesses haven't achieved that yet. And I haven't reached that level of success yet. And I've been doing this for longer and she hasn't been doing it for that long. And maybe if I haven't got there yet and she already has, it's not meant for me. And there was the spiral that begun. I'm sure you can relate to the spiral of going, oh my God, what is happening? I feel like it's pretty universal, right? You can be so happy for someone, but then it also sends you into that spiral of what am I doing? Where am I going? Who am I? What's happening? And maybe that's dramatic, but I feel like it's happened, right? For every single one of us. It just made me sit back and think, and I had to pause, and I ended up saying to the friend who I was speaking to, like, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes for her to get there. And also, if you achieved the level of success that she has now, right now in your business and in your life, would it be sustainable? Like, have you learned everything you need to learn to hold it? And I was saying this as much to her as I was to me, of reminding myself that it's not always about getting to that final destination. It's not always about achieving that thing and ticking that particular achievement off of the list of things I need to do before 30 or things I need to do in order to feel successful. It's actually about who we become in the process. It's about who we become, what we learn, and the things we pick up along the way. There's that saying that might be a little cliche and some of you may cringe, but like, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. That's 100% what I'm talking about today. Because I do think that we can place too much emphasis on getting there and we forget that it's actually enjoyable and it can be fun and enjoyable, the journey to actually getting there. If we rush towards the destination, if we rush towards the achievement, and we actually aren't enjoying the process of achieving that thing, that achievement isn't going to feel as good as we could ever imagine. It's not going to satisfy and fill the hole or fill the gap that we are thinking it will. But if you allow yourself to have fun and enjoy the journey towards that achievement, if you soak up every moment, every lesson, if you take it all in and you allow yourself to be present in it and go, oh my gosh, I am working towards this really huge thing. I am in the process of achieving this really huge thing. When you actually achieve the really huge thing, it will feel so much more rewarding. I am, of course, speaking from experience. This has happened to me many times where I have wanted nothing more than to get to a certain place. And I have thought that when I get there, that will be when I'm happy. That will be when I feel accomplished. That will be when I know I'm successful. And I've rushed and forced my way ahead, missing out on all of the beautiful details and all of the lessons in the process, and gotten to that place and gone, oh, okay, what's next? On to the next thing, on to the next thing. And it's this constant cycle of never being satisfied because we aren't enjoying the actual process of getting to the mountaintop. We're hating the climb and expecting that if we just get to the top, then it will all have been worth it. And that's not how it works. So I wanted to speak into this because I feel like there are a lot of us going through that at the moment. I'm seeing a lot online about the fact that the time that we were forced inside of our house for some of us it was for 2 years, for some of us it was less. We feel like we've missed out on a bunch of time, and like we entered into that period of our lives much younger than we emerged from it. Especially for those who are around my age, it feels like, you know, we went into that experience going, oh, we're so young, we have our whole life ahead of us, this is great and fine. And then we've come out and people are having children, people are getting married, people are buying houses, and that's amazing. But it just feels like we missed out on such a big gap. Even if you're younger than I am, I feel like, you know, there's formative years that feel like we've just kind of skipped. So I just wanted to speak into it because without even that experience, this is a very normal thing to be feeling. And I feel like it's quite universal, but especially because of that experience in our history, in our time over the last few years, it's just kind of exacerbated it a lot. And I've been having lots of conversations with many different people about this sort of thing. And I just thought it was important to kind of give a voice to it. But I also want to talk about how to really enjoy the present, how to thrive in the present, even when you feel and it seems so far away from where you actually want to be. My partner, Tom, and I have been trying to move overseas for the past, I want to say 4 years, and it is yet to happen, but we have finally booked our tickets. We are moving in just under 5 months. We're moving to London. And for the longest time, I was waiting for us to move, to be that moment of, okay, now I feel like I have achieved this thing. Now I feel like I'm going to be happy. I'm going to feel good and happy and know that I'm where I'm meant to be when my feet land on the ground in the country that we want to be in. Because that kept getting pushed back for a number of reasons, I continually felt disheartened and defeated and like I wasn't really succeeding while all of my friends were going out and achieving various things. This particular thing kept moving further and further out of reach. Now we do have a date set, but even before we had a date set, I actually learned some things that helped me thrive in the present and enjoy the journey of getting there. And I want to share them with you today. So my number one tip might seem a little strange, but it's something that I actually was talking to a friend about the other day. I reminded this friend, you are in one of the most exciting periods of your life. You just don't know it yet. And you're going to look back in 5 or 10 years, and this is going to be the time of your life that you're going to wish you had soaked in. This is the time of your life that maybe isn't the time or the season of your life where you're reveling in the success, where you're feeling like you've accomplished all the things, but it's the period of your life that is the journey to there. You're creating this piece of art. And yes, the work of art being completed is going to feel so satisfying, but it will feel more satisfying if you enjoy the process of creating it. So my tip is to take yourself out of the present moment right now, which seems counterintuitive because I'm kind of trying to get you to be present, but take yourself out of the present, shoot yourself into the future, looking back on yourself as your older self. What would you want yourself to remember, to soak it all in? Maybe it's looking at a time in your life that you did rush through, that you didn't enjoy, and that you weren't present for. And remind yourself of that time so that you can really focus on doing that for yourself in this season of your life. I promise you, this might sound really woo, this might sound really weird, but it really is going to be helpful. I remind myself all the time. I'm building a business. I am a digital organization strategist. I'm working with a few clients at the moment, but I'm by no means where I want to be in terms of the success and the sustainability of my business. I, for years, have been romanticizing the idea of being full-time in my business, of quitting my 2 other jobs, of being able to live a certain lifestyle and have a certain amount of income, to also be able to have a certain amount of impact and work with a certain amount of people. And I'm working towards that, but I'm by no means anywhere close to the dream, vision, perfect, ideal scenario. But what I am reminding myself of is this is the exciting moment that I'm going to look back on when I am older and when I'm actually at that mountaintop, when I'm at that peak, when I'm at that place, and I'm going to go, wow, I am so proud of her. I am proud of her for showing up and doing this thing. I am proud of her for continuing to show up even though it felt so far away. I am proud of her for enjoying the process and making it fun, right? Because I'm proud of me 2 years ago. I look at myself 2 years ago and go, oh my gosh, you had no idea and you just kept going and you enjoyed it, you've made it fun, and that is the most important thing. My second tip would be to remember why you are doing what you're doing. Have intention. If you're trying to achieve this big thing and it's consuming your life and you don't actually know the real reason behind it, it's gonna feel soul-sucking, draining, and it's not gonna be sustainable. But if you are really clear on your intention of what it is you're working towards, why it is you're doing what you're doing, it makes it easier and it makes it feel so much better. For example, I am working towards my business being at a level where that can be my only source of income. I am working towards that so that I can have the time and location freedom, so I can work whenever I want, wherever I want, while Tom and I are living in the UK and traveling around Europe and around the world. If I am not clear on that intention and I forget that intention, I don't show up and I don't record episodes for my podcast. I don't create content. I don't show up in other ways that support my business. I also don't have a whole lot of motivation because I just feel like it's so far away. Why am I doing this? Is it even going to happen? Whereas when I have my why, my intention at the front and center of everything I'm doing, that motivation is effortless. Some days it takes a little bit of effort, so maybe not totally effortless, but it's a lot less effort than if the intention isn't crystal clear and front of mind when I'm showing up for my business. So I want you to be really intentional with what it is that you're doing. Why are you putting in extra hours at work? Why are you waking up at 4 a.m. and going to the gym? Why are you saying no to certain relationships? Why are you prioritizing certain things in your life right now? Because sometimes the things that we have to do in order to get where we want to go are hard. They feel tricky and they take a lot of motivation. And if our intention isn't clear, it's harder to show up for them. But it also means that you're going to forever be in that process of going, oh, when I get there, it won't be hard anymore. When I am like a marathon runner, it won't be hard for me to train. Or when I am a successful business owner, it won't be hard for me to make money. But how about we make it enjoyable in the process? I hope this is resonating and is helpful, because I just think I'm sharing this for you, but it's something that I really need to hear for myself. And I haven't written a script for this. I've just been riffing, so it might be a little all over the place, but that's what I do. This is how I operate. I hope though that in my ramblings, there has been some little nuggets of wisdom. I also spoke about this in my episode with Beck, my amazing author friend who I interviewed for the podcast last week. If you're watching this real time, it is available on Spotify. You can also find it. It is available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you want to kind of listen to something with a similar vibe of this. Definitely check that out. But I really just want to drive home the importance of enjoying the present, enjoying the journey, and taking time to soak it all in. Because if you're living for that shiny thing, that ticked box on your list of things you need to do by a certain age or by, the time you leave this life, You're forever going to feel dissatisfied, burnt out, and your life is more precious than that. You deserve so much more than that. You deserve to live a life where you feel happy, and not just happy, but fulfilled, where you feel fulfilled, where you feel like you are enjoying every moment, where you feel like even in the hardest of times and even in the times where you're having to really, encourage yourself to keep going, that you are proud of yourself and that you know why it is that you're working towards your dreams and your goals and what those actually are. So I hope that this has resonated. I hope that it makes sense. I just feel like I could talk about this for hours and hours, but I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again. So I hope that it's making some sort of sense. I just want you to live a life that you feel good no matter what you've achieved at whatever age, because I know how much it sucks to be comparing yourself to everyone around you, to be saying, I'm this age, I should have this, or I've been in business this long, so I should be doing this. Fuck that. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the time that it takes you to get there, because that is where the juice, the magic, the wisdom, the experiences, the people that are shaping your life for the better, that are going to be highlights of your life, that's where they live. The making of the art is sometimes more enjoyable and more special than the finishing of the art. And I want you to think of your life, as woo as this sounds, as art. Enjoy the process. If you're making a beautiful painting out of your life, light a freaking candle, have some wine, put some music on in the background. Enjoy the freaking journey of creating your masterpiece, because you bloody deserve it. God damn it, you deserve it. That's all I will say. I hope this has resonated with you, my love. Please share your thoughts below. I would love to hear if this was helpful, if you want me to talk about this with a bit more clarity and break down a few more tips that I have, or bring in some people who I could interview who could share their experiences. Please let me know, because I just feel like this is something we all struggle with, and I want to help us not struggle with it. That's all for me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it, please subscribe, please comment below. But I will see you next week with a brand new topic, and I cannot wait to see you then. Mwah.